Ever since you were young, you had a keen interest in coding. You had your uncle for that, as he would teach you coding almost every day. By the time you went to high school, you could code better than most university students who were studying computer science. Unfortunately, your father and your uncle had a dispute and you were not allowed to see him anymore. You still practice coding almost every day. You got into the best computer science university and graduated with excellence. Now you're going for your dream job. This job requires years of experience, years longer than your lifetime. You know you have the skills for this job, but you're not sure, so you decide to consult with your uncle about this. After months of searching, you have finally found your uncle. When you go to your uncle's house, you explain that you want to go to this job and that you have the skills but not the experience. Your uncle nods and then tells you what he does for a living. Your uncle is a high-ranking position in the same company you're trying to get into, and he is willing to hire you. You just need to sign some papers and you get the job. You are ecstatic. Your uncle tells you to come the next day to sign some papers. You go the next day and your uncle is on the dining table with a white powder and his head is down. You immediately know what he is doing. He's snorting cocaine. Your uncle welcomes you and asks if you want to do so. You're shocked. Your uncle can tell. Your uncle states that cocaine is actually good for you and that the government is lying. He says it in a way that is almost believable, but you are still shocked. You hesitate and decline the offer. Your uncle gets pretty upset and then states you can either do some and get your dream job or get out because you're not being faithful to your uncle and he won't hire anyone that isn't faithful to him. Before we talk about identifying this problem, we need to know what cocaine does to your body. Cocaine is a highly addictive drug. Cocaine sends a rush of dopamine into the part of the brain which controls pleasure. This intense feeling causes feelings of energy, which is also known as being high. But using cocaine has deadly consequences. Short-term effects of cocaine would be anger/irritability, intense happiness, extreme sensitivity to touch and sight. Long-term effects of cocaine would be headaches, confusion, heart disease, lung problems, etc. Let's get back to the problem. The problem here is that you know cocaine is dangerous, but if you don't do it, you will never get your dream job. You also don't want to be unfaithful to your uncle, but you still know that cocaine is very dangerous. There is a small part of you that thinks your uncle is right about cocaine, and it isn't bad for your body. He does have a very good job working for the coding company. Cocaine is supposed to ruin lives for the people who use it, not people who have a successful job. In this situation, there is a few solutions which would come to mind. The first solution is to say no and walk away. The pros for this is that you're not risking the symptoms of cocaine and you won't get addicted to it just because of getting this job. The cons of this is that you will never get your dream job. This means the only possible outcome is to never get your dream job, and since your uncle has a high-ranking position in this company, he can make it so you can never get the job even with the years of experience. The second solution is to say yes and do the cocaine. The pros for this is that you can get the job and your uncle's trust. The cons for this is that you will now be addicted to cocaine and feel what it does to your body. The solution will get your dream job, but you will probably ruin your life, and it's only a matter of time till you get arrested for doing cocaine or get fired from your job because you were doing something you weren't supposed to do because you were high on cocaine. The third solution is to try to explain to your uncle that cocaine is bad. The pros of this solution is that you educate your uncle about cocaine and he may not want to do it anymore, and he won't force you to do it, so you get the job without doing it. The cons is that he might get angry and not believe you. This solution, you try to educate your uncle about the dangers of cocaine, but your uncle will try to force your beliefs onto you instead. He might convince you that what you know about cocaine is wrong, or he might tell you to get out. There is a small chance he believes that, and he stops doing cocaine, and you get your dream job without doing cocaine. The best solution is a mixture of the second and third solution. You should try to educate your uncle about the dangers of cocaine. If this doesn't change your uncle's mind about cocaine, then you have to leave. Cocaine is too dangerous and it can ruin your life and end it. It's not worth your dream job. Even if you never get your dream job, doing cocaine is never and not worth the price. And with that, you leave and you never come back. A few days later, the FBI did a raid on the most important people on the company for smuggling drugs, including your uncle. Anyone who was involved was arrested. You moved on with life. You spent years getting experience to join your dream job and you finally did. Your uncle wasn't able to ruin your chances into getting the company as he got arrested. Now you look back and you're glad you never did the cocaine.